In the depths of the ancient forests, far from the royal palaces and the bustling cities, lived a woman whose story has largely been forgotten. She was not born into royalty, nor was she a warrior of great renown. She did not wear a crown or wield a bow in battle, but her life was filled with immense sacrifice, unwavering love, and undying devotion. Her tale is one of loyalty, strength, and transformation, yet her name is seldom sung alongside the heroes of the great Mahabharata. Hers is the story of a woman whose heart beat not for herself, but for her family, for love, and for a son who would one day change the course of the greatest war ever fought. She was a mother, a wife, and a woman of immense courage, though the world may not remember her as such. This forest, untamed and wild, was feared by travelers and avoided by kings. In its heart lived two siblings, Hidimba and his sister, Hidimba, creatures of the night, Rakshasas, feared by men for their dark, insatiable hunger. While they had terrifying appearances and a reputation for feeding on humans, Hidimba was different in nature from her brother. She had a gentle disposition, and this contrast became central to her character arc. Hidimba, on the other hand, was a fierce and bloodthirsty demon who enjoyed killing and devouring humans. He ruled the forest with fear, and travelers who passed through were often his victims. Hidimba served her brother but was not as cruel as him. The story of Hidimba begins when the Pandavas, Yudhishthir, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul, Sahdev, and their mother Kunti, were exiled from their kingdom after the infamous Lakshagriha incident, in which their cousins, the Kauravas, tried to burn them alive. The Pandavas, who had narrowly escaped death, began wandering the forests in search of refuge. One day, while they were resting in a dense forest, Hidimba caught the scent of human flesh. Excited at the prospect of a meal, he ordered his sister, Hidimba, to go and investigate who these humans were and to bring them to him so that he could devour them. Hidimba obeyed her brother and went to the place where the Pandavas were resting. As she approached, she saw Bhim, the second Pandav, who was famous for his immense strength and imposing physique. Upon seeing him, she was struck by his beauty and power. He was unlike any man she had ever seen, tall, broad-shouldered, with the strength of 100 men. But it wasn't just his physical power that struck her. There was a kindness, a nobility in his face, and in that moment, for the first time in her life, Hidimba felt something she had never known, love. A feeling she had never experienced before blossomed within her. She immediately resolved not to harm the Pandavas and instead sought Bhim's protection. She knew then that she could not, would not, let her brother harm these people. But what could she do? She was bound by the ways of her kind, and disobeying Hidimba meant certain death for her. Yet, love is a force stronger than fear, and Hidimba made her choice. Hidimba, using her Rakshasi powers, transformed herself into a beautiful woman to approach Bhim. She confessed her love for him and begged him to marry her. Bhim, though flattered, initially refused, as his first priority was to protect his family from Hidimba's brother, Hidimba, who was still lurking in the forest. At this point, Hidimba grew impatient. Realizing that his sister was taking too long, he came to the spot himself. When he saw that Hidimba had fallen in love with Bhim and had defied his orders, he became furious. He confronted Bhim, intending to kill him and the rest of the Pandavas. What followed was a fierce battle between Bhim and Hidimba. Bhim, known for his extraordinary physical strength, fought valiantly against the demon. The battle was long and brutal, with Bhim eventually overpowering and killing Hidimba after a great struggle. With Hidimba dead, Hidimba was free from her brother's oppressive influence. Out of gratitude and love, she again pleaded with Bhim to marry her. This time, Kunti, Bhim's mother, intervened. She understood Hidimba's devotion and acknowledged the Rakshasi's help in saving their lives. Kunti agreed to the marriage but with a condition: Bhim would marry Hidimba, and stay with her in the forest for a limited time. After that, he must return to continue his journey with the Pandavas. Bhima agreed to these terms. Hidimba understood that Bhim's duty lay beyond the forest, yet her love remained unwavering. Hidimba and Bhim were married, and for some time, Bhim stayed with her in the forest. During this period, Hidimba gave birth to their son, Ghatotkacha, who grew rapidly into a strong and capable warrior, owing to his supernatural lineage. Once Ghatotkacha was born and grew into a capable young warrior, Bhim had to leave to fulfill his duties alongside his brothers. Hidimba, true to her promise, did not object. She stayed back in the forest, raising their son, preparing him for the day when he would be called to assist his father. Hidimba's devotion to Bhim is often regarded as selfless. Despite being a Rakshasi, she never attempted to keep Bhim from his duties. She knew that his destiny lay beyond the forest with his family, and she respected that. Her love for Bhim was pure, marked by sacrifice and respect for his responsibilities. She raised Ghatotkacha with the same values, ensuring that he would be a loyal son to Bhim, despite growing up away from him. Ghatotkacha inherited both his father's strength and his mother's magical abilities, which allowed him to play a crucial role in the great war of Kurukshetra. During the Kurukshetra War, he was a powerful ally for the Pandavas, especially during the 14th night of the battle when he used his supernatural powers to wreak havoc on the Kaurava army. However, Ghatotkacha's most significant contribution came when he forced Duryodhana to order Karna to use the divine weapon, Vasvi Shakti, against him. This weapon, given to Karna by the god Indra, was meant to be used against Arjuna. By sacrificing his life, Ghatotkacha ensured that the Pandavas would survive, as Karna no longer had a divine weapon to kill Arjuna. Ghatotkacha's sacrifice reflected the values his mother, Hidimba, had instilled in him: loyalty, duty, and selflessness. Hidimba's legacy extends far beyond her love for Bhim. Though the Mahabharata does not detail her life after the war, in later traditions, particularly in Himachal Pradesh, Hidimba is revered as a goddess. The Hidimba Devi temple in Manali stands as a testament to her strength, compassion, and the enduring power of love. Her story, though often unsung, is one of the greatest in the Mahabharata. A Rakshasi who overcame her nature, a mother who raised a hero, and a woman who loved selflessly, Hidimba's legacy lives on, not in the palaces of kings, but in the hearts of those who remember that even the most unlikely souls can change the course of history. Embrace the divine within. Show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to Vibes of Divinity. Thank you for watching, and let's spread the divine vibes together.